Now for our Wizards project. We'll draw something from start to finish applying what we've learned. I'm going to show you the whole process using the same reference and doing the same drawing that you will be doing to give you a blueprint and show you how to apply the tools that you've learned. No reason to chat it up anymore, so let's get to work. So we first start out with our frame and we make sure we have our grid points set up. That way we'll be able to utilize that to look for our landmarks and to get our proportions right. The first thing I did, as you can see already, is add landmarks. I'm marking little lines around the page, say where the top of the umbrella is or where the horizon line is, and checking that they are in the right place in relation to each other and the grid points on our image frame. Then I immediately dive into broad angles and broad shapes to help establish the primary proportions and positions of the different parts of the image. You'll see that I'm using triangles to establish the shapes of the temples in the background. I'm continually adjusting things using my eraser. If I get something a little bit off, I adjust and fix it. And I just continue to make sure my shapes, my broad angles are in the right place. Just blocking things in very simply. Now I begin to move from the broad to the subtle, the big picture to the details, bit by bit. And as you see me doing here, I'm refining some of these broad shapes with angles and redefining even some of my shapes, like with the umbrella, making sure that squashed circle is correct. I'm utilizing subtle angles and subtle shapes to begin refining all the little things that are in the background and some of the shapes of the foliage. I look for subtle angles and subtle shapes within the triangular broad shapes that we established for our temples. Refine those shapes. You see here I'm erasing something because it wasn't quite right. That'll happen. You just have to always be checking and adjusting if you need to fix something, and that's certainly okay. Now you see that I'm starting to take contour and refine my subtle angles and the subtle shapes and give them more accurate form by looking for the little details in the way that the shapes actually look like, because they're not chiseled out, but they have a specific contour, and I'm applying that now to my shapes. And I just utilize this same process everywhere, and I move around the image. I take some of it to a certain level, and then I stop and I go somewhere else and take that to a certain level. It just kind of keeps you moving around and seeing and experiencing the whole piece as a full image, so you don't get too focused on one area and take it too far too soon. I'm just going to continue along, refining the drawing using mostly contour at this stage. This of course is sped up a bit so you don't have to sit around and wait forever. Our focus here is to take this to a completed state as a line drawing. Now this line drawing could be used as the basis for a painting, or it could be used as the beginning of a more fully rendered drawing where we're using value and tone to show form and to show light and shadow. Specific instructions for your final Wizards project are also provided in the Wizards Training PDF download. You will be applying all that you've learned so far in this course and experience all the pieces coming together. Now there's certainly more to learn and to build on from here, including gesture drawing and learning about form and perspective, but this drawing and what you've learned so far is a fantastic start in your drawing adventures.